guys, Midget here, bringing you another Walking Dead video review, and this for me is 5 videos, or around 6, in 2 days, which is absolute insanity, because I'm only used to doing one in 1 week, so, you know, it's kind of insane in my opinion. And now we're reviewing episode 11 of season 2, and it's called Judge, Jury, Executioner. It starts off with Dale beating up Randall, you know, torturing him and listening to him at the same time. Daryl listens him out pretty much about, you know, how many men he has and stuff like that, but then eventually gets to beating him up again as Daryl gets to the part, Randall gets to the part about his men raping 2 girls, and even there, you know, he can't handle it, he beats him up even more. You know, so, and this is all before the credits, so, you know, it's a lot to take in before the credits, you know, but then Daryl tells the group the truth, and Rick makes the decision to kill him, while Dale protests, basically. You know, Dale doesn't want it to happen, but Rick basically takes it upon himself to, you know, make the decision, and, you know, it's obviously killing him, but then Dale tries to talk to Andrea, but she wants to kill him too, and, you know, it's just like, you know, Dale can't get anything out of anyone, and this episode is mainly focused on Dale, and you'll see why in a bit, but Randall asked Andrea if they're gonna kill him, and she looks troubled, so that gives him a bad impression, and Shane talks to Carl and talks to Andrea, you know, and Randall listens to, you know, Shane talking to Andrea and Shane, but then Carl watches Randall, and Randall's like being sneaky and trying to persuade Carl into opening the locks for him, but Shane walks in and almost shoots Randall, you know, so it was kind of, you know, I thought this whole episode, right, that Shane was going to kill him either way, because I knew Rick wouldn't. I just thought, you know, Shane's going to do it somewhere, like, you know, even if it's without Rick wanting to, Shane's going to just do it, you know. I thought that's what's going to happen, but it's a shocking truth, it didn't, you know. But Dale talks to Daryl, that knows an awful lot about Shane in the group, and he says that, that, you know, that he knows that Shane killed Otis. It's just that basically Rick is clever enough to find out, but Rick just doesn't want to find out, you know. That's what Daryl practically says, and at the same time Carol talks to Carl about Sophia being in heaven, and then Carl like flips at her and says that anyone who believes in heaven is stupid, and then so Carl gets angry at Carol, Carol gets angry at Rick and Laurie, and Rick gets angry at Carl. The thing is, it's just a freeway thing, but then Dale looks to Herschel backing him up. Herschel wants to leave it with Rick and have Randall away from his girls because of Randall's story, you know, so it's not that great. You know, the most wise man in the group, you can possibly says, wants him dead, so, you know, when that happens, you know you're not doing a very good job. But then Carl finds Daryl's place with the squirrels, you know, he's like looking at the squirrels like, what the hell? He looks at the bike, he pretends to be on the bike and finds a gun, so he steals it and goes into the woods to kill a walker, and then, you know, we see that he throws stones at the walker, and then it changes back to Dale trying to convince Shane, you know, so you can tell he's desperate, and he tries to convince his pretty much arch nemesis in the whole group, you know. You can tell he really is desperate for this, you know. And Shane listens him out. He says he tells Dale that he is wrong, but lets a trial take place, you know, so whether they're going to kill him or not, and Herschel accepts Glenn as Maggie's man, and gives him, like, his watch that was passed from his father's father, and so on, and he tells him the story that, you know, he came from, Ireland, and, you know, got passed down generation to generation, and he tells him that, and, you know, he says, have this watch before I think, you know, he says, when you have a girl, no man is good enough for your girl until someone is good enough, so take this watch unless something before I think you're not good enough for my girl, you know, that's what he says basically. And Carl's walker feet get unstuck and grabs Carl, he escapes and runs for it, you know, leaving the gun behind, which is not a good thing, because later the walker does something that you would not want to see, and, you know, the trial takes place, Carl isn't allowed to listen, and everyone looks like they want to kill Randall, upset Dale. He manages to convince Andrea in the end, but it's still gonna go through practically, because, you know, it's like 8 versus 2 or whatever it was, you know. No one objected, so obviously it looks like they want him dead. So Carl walks in at the end of just about as Rick's gonna kill him, and he tells Rick that he just wants to do, he should kill him, but then Rick can't handle the pressure of his son watching and everything, and so he doesn't do it, and Shane walks out really angry, it was kind of really awkward, because I thought Shane was going to do it then, when Rick was going to go, Shane was just going to kill him, but Rick tells everyone that Randall is in custody, and Andrew tries to go and talk to Dale, but this time Dale walks into a field and sees a cow with like all its insides gone, and he turns around and a walker attacks him, and he screams and everyone is rushing towards him, but the walker is ripped through his stomach, and Daryl sort of kills it after running towards he kills it finally, and Carl sees the walker that is the walker that attacked him and he could have killed, so he finds it a bit shocking, and Rick really wants to save Dale, he goes, get Herschel, and when Herschel comes, he says that, he needs to operate there and then, but Herschel says, there's no way we're going to save Dale, so Dale is a goner at this point, and I was, the first time I saw her, I literally cried, because Dale, he didn't get much screen time, but he was probably the most humane person in the whole group, even more humane than Herschel, and he was more wise than Herschel in a way, I just felt bad for him, because he looked so innocent, he's just an old man, just kind of, really sad, but Rick's about to shoot him, but Daryl takes over, and the last words that, Dale hears is, sorry brother, and then, obviously we get to hear the gunshot, and then that's how it ends, so, this episode, why did they have to kill Dale off in a manner like that? I do not understand. They could have made him have some brave death, I understand him not having a lot of screen time, so he doesn't deserve an honourable death, but for what he did to the group, he kept it humane instead of going it full mental, I think that deserves, not just a walker ripping through his insides, he could have saved someone, someone could have got tortured and he said, I don't belong in this world anymore, I'm too old, they have potential. He could have done something like that, something heroic, but instead, just a pointless death, I think he deserved way more than that. But I'll give this episode an 8 out of 10. It was a pretty average episode. I like the trial bit, it was a 9 at Dale's death, but I think that doesn't reflect the whole episode, just a part of the episode. It was say, you can see my hand now, so this is the whole episode, this bit, you can, so it was 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, it just doesn't really, reflect the whole episode, so I guess I shouldn't have given it a 9, so I give it an 8, but he was an awesome guy, rest in peace Dale, and yeah, so anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this episode guys. If you did, make sure to give it a like, and yeah, so this is Midget, and I'm going to see you guys next time.